Hello and welcome to a chill re-clear of ESP. Now, last time I posted about clearing DOJ Loop 2, and that was kind of a Herculean effort for me, so I wanted to play something a little less demanding, just something to play a bit for fun. And something with less routing because Diojo is very heavy on routing, and I wanted to do some kind of, just enjoy the simple art of, not art, the simple joy of dodging bullets, as our Lord and Savior Tsuneki Ikeda has said in various interviews. So I thought I'd play some Esperate. And specifically because I think this is kind of heavy on just dodging, especially doing the boss patterns. The boss patterns are pretty interesting in this game. There's more, I feel like there's more like RNG elements, so it's not the same every time and you really need to just dodge well in this game. So and I wanted to see, because, putting a lot of time into Loop 2 play, I wanted to see whether that had improved my, general gameplay and just, sight reading, bullet patterns and just, dodging in any way, like whether I would be better at, just dodging stuff, just playing without doing a lot of practice or routing. So I thought this would be a pretty fun game to kind of test that on. And the run that you're seeing right now is basically there's like zero routing and I did almost like no practice. I just did runs and a little bit of safe stating some of the later parts, but basically this is just this is like zero routing, zero like planned play, and just kind of going all over the place. But of course I rely on my previous knowledge of the game. So I cleared this originally in 2023 and I've only cleared it once. And I remember at the time this was kind of a tough clear, and it was a very frustrating one because I think there's kind of problems with dodging in this game that we're going to talk about in just a sec. And I felt like it was really easy to just get clipped in this game, and it's pretty strict about having lots of resources at the end. So yeah, I had lots of I remember doing lots of runs and feeling like I should be able to do it, but I just wasn't able to do it. And eventually I cleared the game, but it was kind of it left kind of a little sour taste in my mouth. And so that's also, I kind of wanted to come back to the game and maybe re-evaluate it, because I also I think I've talked about this game many times in passing in some in videos. I would just talk about some topic and I would just mention Esperate as an example of something, and I feel like I've talked kind of a little negatively about the game. So I kind of wanted to take this opportunity to kind of come back to the game, maybe re-evaluate it, and also kind of give my more fuller thoughts on the game, because I think this is a kind of a fan favorite in a way. I feel like I see people often talking about this game and saying how much they love it. And of course, it's widely available as the excellent M2 port that I'm playing right here. So it's a game that you can actually play easily instead of some other games. And the art style is very attractive. It's different compared to a lot of other cave titles and other shmups, honestly, like the kind of cyberpunk psychic teen setting, the cities and the school environment here. It's just different, and the music is cool. This game has the vibe, and I think it has a lot of good stuff going on in the gameplay department as well. But there's those kind of issues that at least I have had with the game, and I think others kind of agree in some ways. So yeah, so kind of getting more into the gameplay stuff. Just one thing that I want to mention is that this is not a scoring run. This is just a pure survival run, though I do try to get well, not necessarily score, but I try to understand because the scoring system in this game is, to me, pretty strange, and I just can't come to grips with it. It's kind of based on how many of this, or I'm playing the Alice Master character here, and the green shot that she shoots, like how many of those like shots or like the explosions are on the screen when an enemy dies or something, and that kind of builds your multiplier. But for me, it's really difficult to kind of be aware of when I want to destroy an enemy and then kind of carrying the multiplier forward. I don't know, just something about this game, I just don't quite understand the scoring, so I just said like F it, like let it be, I'm just going to do a survival clear. But I try to experiment a little bit with the shots here and there, and what you see me doing is often with the big enemies, I try kind of semi-point blanking them, because I feel like that often helps with having lots of those green explosions on the screen. And yeah, like here you can see me getting the times 16 multiplier by getting closer to the big enemies. So that's something that I try to do here and there, but yeah, I don't really understand the scoring in this game really well, so this is not a scoring run. So that's one thing that's kind of hasn't grabbed me about the game. Maybe it's something that if I really would sit down and try to figure it out, it would become clearer and more interesting. But yeah, scoring-wise, maybe not that appealing to me. And then the big kind of elephant in the psychic elements in the room here is kind of I'm not sure if it's the hitbox or it's the kind of hitbox relative to your character's sprites, or I don't know what it is about this game, but it feels like it's easier to get hit by stuff that you don't expect to get hit by in this game. Like it's really easy to get clipped by bullets here, and that's kind of multiplied, you could say, by the fact that a lot of the patterns in this game are kind of chaotic, kind of a little randomish, and they consist of these like really small, like look at those red bullets. Like the bullets in this game are pretty small, they're kind of clumped together and they kind of fly around everywhere. So there's usually there's like these very small gaps that you need to move through in kind of the later parts. Of course, I'm sure you can do a lot of macro dodging if you route out this game instead of just flailing around randomly like I do here. But yeah, the kind of the stuff with the hitbox, sprite, whatever it is, combined with the nature of the bullet patterns in this game, it just kind of makes the dodging like more dangerous than it feels like it should be. Like I don't feel confident. Like I think that this game had like kind of influenced Toho, like and I think you can see with the patterns, there's something Toho-ish about the patterns. But I think with Toho, you never really need to think about the hitbox. Like I've played, like I cleared like Toho 6, 7, and 8, I think, on hard, and you know I don't think I ever had a problem with hitbox, or even with those patterns get so crazy in those games, and there's like so many bullets, and the gaps are so narrow. There's never an issue with kind of with any hitbox stuff, whereas in this game, I don't know, it just feels like in this game it's more dangerous to micro dodge than it should be, and it kind of sucks because I think in this game, if you're just going for a survival clear, I think you should bomb kind of more often than even in other cave games or Danmaku games. Like basically, if you feel threatened, just bomb, because you never know when you're going to get hit by a bullet. And I think now, as I said, I wanted to see whether my like dodging in general has improved after playing Daiojo Loop 2 a lot, and I think it has. Maybe not much, but I feel like I can dodge better in this game, and I think this run was pretty clean, like survival wise, and I go through some kind of scary patterns like here, but still there's just, it's not the dodging, you can't dodge as confidently as in other games, and that it's not I don't feel as strongly about it anymore but it is a factor in this game, and it kind of does bring the game down somewhat, because I would like to go for those like really risky dodges like more freely, but I feel like that was just an awareness problem on my part. I wasn't like, I think I went like sideways into a bullet that I didn't see. The visibility is actually kind of, there's some visibility challenges in this game actually, I feel like, but that was just an honest like mistake on my part in this run. But yeah, I think the dodging problem is real in this game. But yeah, I don't feel that it's as bad as it was maybe when I was more kind of more on the beginner side. So it doesn't bother me that much anymore, but it still does affect the game. But yeah, now having gotten that out of the way, I want to say that the patterns in this game are really cool. Like even there's like this boss, I really like this boss, like so many creative patterns, and they're kind of messy, but the messiness is kind of what is appealing about them too, because again, you can't route it out really. You need to play in the moment, you need to kind of read the situation and kind of adjust your play. So yeah, there I kind of got into a kind of a pinch there, so I decided to bomb, because yeah, this boss is usually where I die if I don't bomb. So in this run I decided to just bomb when I got threatened. Like here, like this, doing this pattern is so cool. Kind of reminds me of like side-eye Ojo a little bit, like this kind of pattern that you can kind of keep on dodging by like streaming or like tap dodging, but then it's going to trap you. So there's something kind of side-eye Ojo-ish. Say that 3 times fast about it. So yeah. Really love the creativity in this game. I do think I have a higher opinion about this game having returned to it now. So I feel like I can appreciate the kind of the chaotic patterns and the kind of this kind of on the edge of your seat dodging style of this game, which again I feel like probably could be mitigated by better routing. But it's something that I want to comment, like you saw me getting some of those energy like chips there. I have to say that I kind of hate the way that that they did bomb refills in this game. So the way that they do it is that you collect those red chips, and once you hit a certain threshold and you've used some of your like bomb meter, you're going to get like bomb refills. But I don't know, I feel like it's really hard to control when you're going to get them, and sometimes, like just a moment ago, I got my first bomb refill in a place where there basically wasn't any enemies, so I just wasn't able to get any of my meter back, and so that felt kind of unfair. So I guess with kind of strict routing and playing well, you can kind of do planned refills, but kind of in this kind of more casual style of play, it just feels random. Sometimes you get the refills right when you want to get them, and sometimes you don't, and that's just kind of a random element. So not a huge fan of that. Yeah, I like planning around like certain or kind of it's kind of, I was really happy with getting these yellow tanks without bombing, because it's kind of hard. But yeah, I kind of prefer the Doronpachi style, when you know, like in stage 2 you're going to get the bomb pick up at this moment, and in stage 3 you're going to get it after the mid boss. So it kind of makes it easier to plan around that and do kind of a meta strategy with the bombs, whereas here it feels more random. Like sometimes you get a more bomb meter, sometimes you don't. But again, you just kind of have to kind of lean into the kind of chaotic nature of this game and just kind of roll along with it. And basically that's really what I wanted after playing a lot of like Daiojo Loop 2. So this is exactly what I wanted to get, but not maybe a game mechanic that I want to see in a lot of titles. And I don't think there's a lot of titles with something like this. So with this boss, I kind of mess it up, because there's this kind of thing that you can do. You kind of circle around twice around the boss, and then you destroy those soldiers up top. But because I'm playing with Alice Master, who's kind of a slow character, And I think I also started at the wrong moments. I don't get to do the second motion in time, so I need to do some dodging here. And pro tip with this boss, once the health goes down to like 50%, just do a slightly prolonged bomb and the boss will just die. It's kind of strange. And yeah, talking about the characters, like the first time that I cleared this game, it was with the character JB5th, who has this kind of shotgun triangle style shots, and you need to get closer to enemies to really maximize the damage, but you also have kind of this wide range when you need to. Really enjoyed playing with JB. Kind of dabbled in playing with Yusuke, I think. The name of the character, who is the fast one with the kind of forward-facing shots, and I think he's kind of a very popular character to play. And I really like the speed, but again, because it's kind of a fast character, it was, again, I found myself clipping into bullets more than I wanted to, so I decided to try out playing with Alice Master, who is a new character added to the M2 version of the game. And I'm playing the Arcade Plus version here, which includes this character among some, it reduces boss milking, which doesn't affect me because I'm not doing any milking in the first place anyway. And so I decided to play with this new character, and I felt like it was okay, but maybe if you get into scoring, there's a more of a difference. But I felt like it was kind of similar to JB, because you have this kind of shot that fans out. Like with JB, I think it doesn't fan out quite as much as this one, but it was kind of similar to playing with JB. So yeah, here I'm going to get a huge energy refill just in time for the final boss. So did I feel good about it? Yes. Was it kind of a lucky thing? Also yes. So yeah, so the thing that makes this game really famous is the last boss, because it's basically like almost like a mandatory TLB. And I was really excited to try this out, because I think it was also very frustrating for me clearing the first time, where I felt like I need to carry a lot of resources to the last boss to be able to make through it. But now, like having a bit more skill, I wanted to see whether I could do it with less resources. And let's see if I can do it with less resources. So as you can see, I am trying to dodge more and not just kind of... So that was a kind of a bad place, so I decided to bomb. But I tried to kind of do this boss fight like without using too many resources, just like trying to dodge as much as I can. And so the first phase went pretty well. Pretty happy with that. So this, I always bomb during this phase, because especially when those red pattern struts to go really like diagonally, it's really hard to dodge, and this pattern can kind of trap you. So this is a very scary phase for me. So yeah, I was kind of expecting to bomb there. So I found myself really enjoying this pattern this time. I think this is where like the skill improvement kind of came through, where I felt like I could dodge this pretty like easily, or didn't feel that scary to me, even though I did bomb here just for safety, but kind of not as scary, I think, as it was previously. This is a pretty tough pattern, because I think sometimes you need to play very aggressively here to find the openings. So, or you're going to get trapped, and I think I'm going to get trapped here somewhere around here, maybe. Yeah, that's okay. I think this is my second death during the run, so I think playing pretty well. So this is a very difficult pattern, and I'm just going to bomb twice here since I have the bomb meter, but this is a very tough one to dodge. I did practice this a little bit, but doing it in a run, too scary for me. And the famous final pattern. So this is pretty cool. It's kind of funny that you need to go like really high on the screen to dodge this, and like super iconic, like the bullet patterns, like the hand, the bullets, so cool. I do think it goes on for maybe a little too long. Maybe there's a way to deal more damage more quickly. But yeah, a really cool pattern. And something funny about this Arcade Plus version is that it has a TLB added to this boss, but it's actually kind of a more like an epilogue. It's a pretty easy one. It's a really nice one. But I think in a patch of the game, they added a second version of the TLB. And if you clear the game with having only 2 misses, like losing 2 lives at the maximum, you trigger the more difficult TLB. And at this point, I've only lost 2 lives, and I've almost done with the final boss. So, and I've never played the harder TLB. So just realized that, oh no. And then something happens to me here, I get trapped there and I get clipped, and since this is my third death, I'm triggering the easier TLB, which I honestly wanted because I haven't even seen the more difficult TLB other than in YouTube videos. So yeah, I think this TLB or this added boss, not too difficult. Music is really beautiful. I think it's a really nice kind of atmospheric ending to the game, and I think it's actually kind of cool to have that. I positioned myself badly here, so I need to bomb. That was a kind of a bad mistake on my part. But I think it's kind of cool to have that really intense Gara fight with those, especially those last patterns. And then having done that, you still need to do a boss. But then it's kind of, the patterns aren't that difficult, but you have that pressure after having done the really difficult boss. I think it's kind of cool, like a epilogue or a coda to the game. So I kind of like having this kind of easy extra last boss at the end. So it was kind of nice to clear the Arcade Plus just to be able to experience this and playing with the Alice character myself. So yeah. Yeah, very slow patterns at the end, but still the atmosphere is there. So yeah, and that's my re-clear of ESP Arcade Plus. And yeah, we're playing Schmoops, by the way. So this clear of Arcade Plus Schmoop. Yeah, I think I like this game more than I used to. It kind of grew on me. The dodging is still a problem. There's stuff that I don't really gel with the scoring. I don't like the bomb refill stuff, but yeah, the patterns just so cool, and the whole world of the game, obviously. So yeah, I was really happy to come back to this and do this re-clear, and kind of, yeah, I guess that's all that I wanted to say about this one. This was kind of a more kind of a chill clear for me, just playing without doing extensive practice, just doing runs and learning on the fly, and obviously using my previous knowledge of the game. So really fun re-clear, and yeah. What is your thoughts on ESP? Is it one of your favorites, or are you put off by the mandatory Gara true last boss-ish final boss and the dodging? Do tell me, and see you next time. And I don't know, that's a mystery even to me.